In this video, I will talk about the different kind of consumer camera that I own and explain why and how I use them, mainly on the aspect of taking videos, and in some instances why I chose a specific brand over the other. There are so many categories of camera in the market now, and to me each has their own purpose. I will mostly reference to my own usage here, which is basically taking family travel videos as a form of memories. And over the years, the gears in my camera bag evolved according to my shooting habits. Along the way, I filtered out more equipments to cut down weights to make my traveling experience more pleasurable. I initially started with a 20-liter backpack and had downsized to a 15-liter sling bag now. So I'm very selective in adding new equipment now as space is limited. Starting with mirrorless camera, which was the first type of camera I owned, it produced the best video quality. The flexibility of changing lens and typically able to take cinematic shots. Definition of cinematic can be quite subjective, but in general, attributes like slow motions, bokeh background, and the 180 shutter speed rule all contribute to being cinematic. But however, there are some rules which I don't care as time goes by, as it is too troublesome for me as a gun and run shooter on my family trip. For instance, I used to follow the 180 shutter speed rule closely, but not anymore now, as it requires changing of ND filter to get the desired exposure right. It is just too troublesome for me, as I tried my best not to let the videography part affect our traveling experience as a family. Most of the time, it was just candid shots when my family was in the frame. Though there are some rehearsed shots, but minimum. I'm using Sony's camera, reason being it was coming on very strong in this category when I first get into the hobby. And they have very good third-party lens support, which provide a lot more choices and cheaper alternative as compared to the native lenses. As of now, I always have both Sony a6500 and a7C in my bag whenever I travel, with wide angle and zoom lens permanently attached respectively. I had developed a habit of not switching lens whenever I travel. And trust me, no matter how careful I am, micro dirt still get into the sensor a couple of times while switching lens, and this created irritating artifacts on the footage. Next, let's talk about drone. I only have this one drone, the DJI Spark, which is an antique by today's standard. As much as my love for the cinematic aerial shots in this category, I found myself hardly use it because most of the time I just do not want to be that irritating drone flyer who attracts unwanted attention. I mostly flew it when there wasn't much people around, which is very rare. Further to this, spending time flying drone also affect the overall quality time with my family while traveling. You may notice that I keep mentioning about prioritizing our family traveling experiences over recording of our memories. To me, what's the point of keeping a record of memories while I was always occupied with taking videos during the process? And because of the underutilization, I'm reluctant to upgrade my drone even though it was way outdated. The next category, a 360 camera. This is one very niche camera which I always bring along on a trip. For those of you who know the line of 360 cameras available in the market, just make a guess which one I'm using now according to the footage. I must confess that I had a very strange relationship with this camera. I love what this style of camera can do, but I'm not entirely satisfied with the quality of the image. I love the way how easy it can be used, but I did not utilize it as much as I love to because of how fragile the lens is. In my opinion, I mainly use this camera for two reasons. First, if I wanted myself to be in the footage, I can easily include myself in the frame without worrying the position of the camera. Second, I love the way it can capture and amplify or dramatize a place. For instance, it elaborates a sense of height, and in a way it really managed to express a majestic environment well. And all these footages was captured using the 7-year-old Insta360 ONE X. This camera is so old that it's hard to get hold of additional battery in the market now. But I sincerely think that it still captures amazing footage. I always believe that as long as you understand the weakness of a camera, you can always avoid it from going against you. Most of the time, it can still gain pretty good result. For now, 360 camera will always be part of my essential gear, and I'm definitely looking forward to a new upgrade. The last addition to my bag is an action camera. I'm currently using the DJI Action 4, which pretty much has the same image quality as Action 5 Pro except for a few minor features upgrade. Initially bought this camera to be an alternative for wide-angle lens shots to my mirrorless camera, and based on the review of how good the image quality is in such a small package, though image quality will never surpass my mirrorless camera, but due to the convenience of the form factor, it had become the most used camera for all my recent trips. I simply chuck it in the side pocket of my outdoor pants and it will follow wherever I go. For those who are not aware, the low light performance is surprisingly decent too. Of course, the quality will never be as good as the mirrorless camera in such low light scenarios, but the quality is definitely acceptable. With the right settings, the electronic stabilization should survive some low light situations as well. If you'd like to see more about the DJI Action Camera night settings and other aspects, please refer to the links in the description box below. We enjoy outdoor quite a lot while traveling, and this camera survived quite a few rough moments and extreme weather with us, even though I once cracked the protective screen. I had learned to let go and carry less equipment throughout the years of our travel. Now my camera bag only serves as a medium to transport my gears to another country. Once at the destination, most of the time I just link one of my mirrorless camera and keep the action camera in my pocket. My interest of creating YouTube videos evolved from compiling family travel videos of 3 to 4 minutes music montage, mainly just for sharing with family and friends. Then I decided to compile all the raw footages into longer form video and in a more orderly manner so that the recorded memory make more sense to us and the kids. This is actually a lot of work, so might as well add voiceover and share our traveling experience on YouTube. And that's how this tiny little channel started. And if you do enjoy our content, do like the video and hopefully helps the channel to grow.